Hello, welcome to day 4, Transforming Cravings to Higher Life Urges. So I'm going to begin with a question today. Would you change your life in order to save your life? It's a very provocative question that speaks to the choices that you have in your life, saying yes to saying yes even when the path is not clear, that it's not laid out in front of you, saying yes to possible potential. Hi, Millicent. Saying yes to transformation, because anytime we want to change our lives, there's risks involved that we need to take. Audrey Hepburn said, "Nothing is impossible. The world says you are possible." So I'm Sanna Carapellotti, the Soulful Strategist. I'm also a yoga instructor as well as a heart math coach. So eating stress is one of the things that I do in my work. I also focus on medical issues, which includes surgery empowerment as well as and recovery, performance in the area of athletics and test taking, and also struggles like life struggles, long-standing struggles, and also inherited trauma. So you're welcome to email or call me at any time if you have questions. Over the past several days, I've received emails and stories about your lives and the struggles that you have. And I'm really grateful. Hi, Valley. Hi, Tony and Del Marco. I'm really grateful to hear from you. Janice posted under the video yesterday about her termination with Diet Coke. She was drinking Diet Coke for 35 years. And if I recall correctly, our session was about an hour and 15 minutes, about 4 years ago. And she has not had a Diet Coke since. In her post, she said she can't even stomach it. Okay, one woman wrote to me privately and said that she was concerned because yesterday we were talking about rewiring the brain, that she was concerned about that. So let me respond. So in recent years, research has revealed that the brain has this neuroplasticity, this capacity to change. So the brain is not set how it used to be thought of. I remember in graduate school, we were basically told that our lives and brains were set by the age of 5, which we know now that that's not true. So the mind body is constantly changing throughout our lives. It has the ability to reorganize, to activate and deactivate, to strengthen as well as weaken. And what has also been recently discovered is the power of the mind and how we believe about ourselves and our lives out into the world, and also the lifestyle that we live. For example, before I say that, I'm a heart math coach, and this company, Heart Math organization out in California, they have been studying heart intelligence for about 40 years. And it was really fascinating to discover that through the vagus nerve, okay, the heart intelligence communicates 80% of the information. The heart intelligence communicates 80% up to the brain, and the brain communicates 20% down to the body through the nervous system. So this is empowered by how we are feeling in the body, how we're breathing, how the heart rate is how we're breathing and how the heart rate is beating as well. So there's an up and down movement in the body because there are also so many levels of consciousness. So as an example with neuroplasticity and how you might think about it is that taxi drivers, for example, they studied them in the UK, and what they found is that their hippocampus, which is the memory center of the brain, is much larger because of their need to memorize so much information about the city. So I'm curious to know how that's going to change over time, with GPS systems and so forth. But if we live chronically stressed lives, okay, we also know that the hippocampus shrinks because think about it, when we're in high stress mode, okay, we don't need to be storing information. So the body makes these adjustments. It activates, the brain activates and deactivates what I said earlier. So there's a lot of information about neuroplasticity and the importance of understanding that you have the power to change how you have been programmed by your family, by your history, and also by big food, which is the topic here. So we know that negativity and stress impact our brains, our nervous system, as well as our lives. But what about positivity? Positivity also changes our cells. But the problem is that I discovered some time ago is that we know how to be negative. We know how to complain and how to stress, but we're not so good at being well. So you can also make that cellular in simple, easy ways that I teach. Here's an example. We all have a default mode that we slip into. Let's say you go to a party and you're laughing and you're having fun and you're the life of the party, but then so you're at this higher vibration, but then you come home and you crash down into like a depression or state of sadness or anxiety. Well, that's a default mode that we all have about our lives. So you can also change that default from stress, depression, anxiety to joy, happiness, love, calm in a way that is very affirming of your life rather than depleting. So there are simple steps that you can take to learn how to create and expand more joy and calm into your life. So neuroplasticity and that study supports that you can rewire the brain to have a greater sense of well-being. But because think about it, okay, you're doing it anyway. Every thought that you have, thoughts are things, whether you are speaking it out loud or whether you are thinking about it in the mind. So I'm going to just show you this real quick. There's a guy, his name is Jonah Lehrer. He studied creativity in the brain. And what was really fascinating to me is that, when you have like an aha moment and you say, oh my gosh, I got it. That's what I want to do. Okay, what he found they put electrodes or something on the head, I'm not sure what, but there was a pathway in the brain, and here's where we had the aha moment, that this flashed like a second before this was risen to consciousness. It was very fascinating because what this tells us is that there are many, 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 many levels of consciousness where we get down to the point where it's really a collective universal intelligence that we all have. Now, how do you access that? Well, there are simple, easy processes that really kind of allow us to go down here to see what these cycles are about that we've been talking about in day 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, so as I said, I mean, you're programming your mind anyway. So why not be deliberate about what it is you want to install? Because we all have the capacity to change our lives, to grow our resilience, and to heal the wounds as well as our bodies. So if you take a look at this cycle that we've been talking about, is the stress that we carry, the cues that move us into like that trigger us to take an action to get relief, and then the fall that we experience. So the action here that I'm focusing on, and this can really be anything, is junk food. So now, before I say this, I want everybody to kind of be sitting, because this is really, really important. Okay, so if you think about here you are in your day, you're stressed. Something cues you, a smell. Maybe you sit down, and every time you sat down in this particular chair, you enjoyed a certain food or you overate a certain food. Then you take the action to get the relief, and then there's the spiral downward. Well, the interesting thing about this is that we get so attached to different aspects of this. We get attached to our stress. We get attached to kind of anticipating this cue, and that opens this door for us to take this action to get the relief that we want, and then we fall. In the classes that I do, the interesting thing is that you can switch all of this and have a rise up in your life rather than a fall. And you can enter into this this cycle at any point to create change. For example, some people change here. Sometimes people have to resolve a cue, or what is this stress that drives us? Because remember, this pattern, you didn't have it before. Let's say, you noticed that there was a big change in your eating habits when you were, say, 23, 24 years old. Well, before that, you didn't have it. So you have to look at what triggered this stress, what set this in motion for you. So the attachment to our emotional patterns, to our stress, to the foods that we eat, to the relief that we seek, and also to the fall, being the victim to what we have created here for ourselves. Now, again, the food industry, they have created this because, as I talked yesterday, they know that we live stress fragmented lives and that we don't have all the good skills and tools that we need to manage ourselves. So they've created the perfect solution, junk foods that are within reach and literally change the brain. Okay, so keeping in mind, see, this here keeps us stagnant and hurting, and it's literally kind of living a lower vibration, because if you want to change this, I mean, you can say, geez, I really need to stop this, or this is killing me. Why do I keep doing this? See, we can say that to ourselves, but that's not where in the brain this resides. It resides in the prefrontal cortex. So you can, again, enter into this experience at any point in time, at any of these steps, and create the changes that you want. Because if you want to change your life, any aspect of your life, you have to increase the vibration and increase your energy and mood in order to create the change. Because if you're trying to make a change and you're feeling kind of low energy or victim-like about it, then it gets really hard. And that way is hard to change. So in the classes that I do, particularly this one about junk food on Saturday, we actually change this part first and begin to pull this forward here and then proceed through here. Because I'm a firm believer in that if you have this problem, then you also have the solutions for that. And there are really easy, effective, empowering ways for you to change your life. And I promise you that they exist. Because if you have been listening, I've shared a lot of my own personal story of my history of being a sugar addict, a junk food addict. And back in the day, I didn't have the skills and the training that I have today to help people. And actually, I'd made a commitment when I was several decades younger. And I made the commitment that I wanted to find ways to help people that were fast and easy. Nobody has time to be in therapy 5 to 10 years. So you can create a greater mind to live a new experience of calm and find the strength to persevere through this. So I want to show you one simple little thing that you can do. And I would suggest that there's so many different actions that you can take through this, and being aware and conscious of what this pattern is for you, how it plays out in your life is really important. So my suggestion is this is my strategy for the day is somewhere here. Okay, I want you to what I called the practice of stilling. As soon as you become consciously aware of what you're doing, that you're about to enter into this spiral here, this cycle, is I want you to stop right here. Okay, as soon as you become consciously aware, oh, I'm in it, I'm about to move through this, okay? This here, I want you to just stop yourself, okay? Take a breath, exhaling longer than the inhale, softens the nervous system, brings it down, and ask yourself, what else can I do? What else could I need? 2 questions, that's it. Okay, so sorry, hair. So here, see, if you decide to go ahead through this, then you're making a conscious decision to do that. So, and then what you can do when you start taking this action, if you've decided, I choose to do this, then you can say, I am going to eat this large bowl of popcorn, and then look at it. That's all you have to do. Stop judging, stop criticizing, stop demeaning yourself so that you can get to know this part of you that struggles here. Okay, so practice stilling. Stop yourself. Stop the body from lunging. Take a couple of breaths, and then if you decide to persist, okay, speak out loud what exactly you're doing for yourself. Okay, if you decide to change, you anytime, say if you look at this spiral, it goes like this. So anytime that you make a conscious decision to break through this cycle here, then you start to make a new pattern and imprint in the brain, healthier habits. Then pretty soon you're reinforcing this and you are well on your way. Okay, so you have the opportunity to reinstall healthier habits that Big Food installed very sneakily through marketing and sales, through the craft of the products that they sell. You have the power to take back and reclaim your life against what they have done. So you can do this for yourself. If you need help, I'm here. I have this class that I offer as well as private services. So that's all I have for today. So tomorrow I'll be back at 3 o'clock again. And if any of you have any questions, I will go through a review of the last 4 days and give you some other suggestions as to some things that can be helpful to you. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you who are here, Dante and Al and Granville and Aubrey, let's see, Rick and Charlie, Rich, Pia, Sharon, Ken, Dan, DeMarco, Tony, Valley, and Millicent. Thank you all so much. I'm very, very grateful. I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and have a blessed day. Thank you. Bye-bye.